Hey, and welcome to today's video. I am Jacob Connors, writer of the Saint Saga series, and today on character R&D, I'm going to talk about some of the changes I made from version 3 Hazel to what I'm dubbing Knucklebuster Hazel. This Hazel, this Hazel is kind of appears a little late in the story. This is when her curse has progressed a little further. And I'm just going to go into details on some of the thoughts and changes I made and from the version 3 to the Knuckle Buster version. I'm just calling it the Buckle version because I already failed to make this video once and I just was getting tongue-tied between version 4, version 3, and it just started to become kind of a mess. So we're going to just get going there. So we're going to start off with some of the minor changes I made. So one of the things that did change is Hazel's just wearing a different tunic than usual. It doesn't have as much as the equipment as I usually have her upgraded with. That's just part of the design of when she gets the Knuckle Busters. It's just a piece of gear I introduced in the story that it's just to help supposed to augment characters, their fisticuffs, or fist fighting capabilities. It's just basically some power armbands around her wrist, her knuckles, with a bunch of spikes on it. One of the things I really liked is I was trying to think of good. Sorry, I was trying to think of ways for spikes to be not a hindrance like they would be in a lot of armor designs. Instead, they're kind of supposed to be more like shepherd dog collars. If you ever seen videos where they introduce shepherd dogs, I keep saying shepherd sheepdogs. They usually get these spike collars around their necks that help them fight against wolves. So that's one of the inspirations here behind these Knucklebuster designs. But one of the main changes I make from from the old version, not the old version of the tunic. Hazel's just wearing a different tunic. She does have different colored tunics, but just like just like in a lot of shows and anime, she's wearing kind of the same dress, but she does have spare tunics. So I just wanted to experiment with the designs of the tunics, and I also acquired some. I actually bought some brushes on Clip Studio Paint, and I wanted to use some of them. So some of these lines you see on here, like these fold lines, those are a brush I wanted to use right away, and these are just the results. I got to get better with them, but so one of the main changes I made from her previous tunic is she has this removable looking collar in her original design, and I replaced that with a bandana in this version. Kind of just because my story is supposed to be kind of like a Victorian Wild West era story with that usual fantasy trope that people are using swords, but there's a story reason for it. But I just wanted to give Hazel a different design there. So I just gave her this bandana. I'm not quite sure it's going to be in the story on her yet, but we're just going to roll with it for now. One of the other big changes later in the story, her braids get really long here. Obviously, they wouldn't grow that long in real life, but in story, there's a reason her braids get longer. As you can see from the last version of Hazel, the braids would go just kind of to the top of her chest. Here they go basically down to past her rear, basically. The story reason for that is because Hazel kind of was partly inspired by Kurohime back when I read that manga. Hazel can use her hair to fight, so her braids can kind of turn into these giant these hairy beast claws that can grab people and stuff. But the main thing I'm going to talk about, because this is Knucklebuster Hazel, is the next upgrade in her equipment are these Knuckle Busters, and I guess Toe Busters too. But basically, the Knuckle Busters are an in-universe piece of equipment designed by the blacksmith character Isaac Irwin and his son. Six has got the prototype of it, and that prototype ends up in Hazel's hands. It was designed by the Crusader blacksmith because in the story, the guy who designed them, he noticed that a lot of times um, the Crusaders or the Holy Knights, they'd always fight till their weapons break and stuff like that. And he wanted these to be kind of a last resort to where if your sword's broken, you're out of ammo, you can at least put these on and still deal some damage. And that's why they have a lot of spikes. Like the spikes are actually supposed to be very protective. Like up here on the upper arm, it's kind of supposed to stop um, demons and stuff from just chewing off your arm, and you can use it to attack. Probably should have something around the elbow here, but you got stuff on the wrist so you can kind of hit your arm back too and hit him with your wrist. But you got those big, basically brass knuckles on your knuckles with spikes, and you're supposed to be able to punch and do more damage. Another thing they do is they also function as another piece of equipment where they just boost your strength in general. And the leggings here, they also function another piece of equipment in story called hopper boots. These boots in story allow the users to basically fill them with mana or magic, whatever you want to call it. And it just creates this little explosion underneath you and launches you up into the air. And it basically lets people do the Superman jumps or stuff like that. You know, it's supposed to replicate an ability that the more powerful people can do. But what I wanted to do in my story is people who see these fantastical abilities and they have the abilities to make these magical items, they make these magical items to augment their abilities so they can fight better. And it kind of, in story, it's supposed to kind of, in story, it causes conflict because with all this newer equipment coming up, it's actually making a lot of the good guy forces, the Solarian Knights and stuff like that, and the Slayers, it's actually making them weaker because a lot of them are now relying more and more on equipment rather than learning the actual techniques. Kind of like in history when more and more people were learning how to shoot firearms over. Sorry, I'm breathing a little heavy. Learning how to shoot firearms over, slashing swords, and that's because firearms were effective. But basically, it's a cause and effect where all these new innovations is causing a decline in natural skill down the line here. I also did redesign Hazel's boots a little bit here. The top, I don't know if you call it the funnel. What do you call that? The top of her boot here. I'm not too in love with the way her boots look in this one. I'm gonna move up here a little bit just so I can. Yeah. So I'm not too in love with the way I made the top of her boots here. I don't know if I was going for. I don't think I was going for cowboy boots at this time, but I wanted to make equipment that wasn't so. I guess I was trying to go from make a little bit more bulky equipment, like you kind of see in anime and stuff like there. Like, not the. I don't know. I guess it was just a redesign I was trying, and I'm half happy with them. I guess I'm going to say. I'm really more happy with her leggings, I guess. Although now her, before she was wearing tights, now she's wearing leggings, so there's a bit of a gap here under her skirt. But her boots just get upgraded a little bit. They get a little bit more armor than last time. They still have that spike collar around the bottom, so it's supposed to stop, beast demons from just chomping off her foot. So if they go for the foot, they get spiked instead. But she has steel toes here and metatarsal guards, I guess. I hated wearing metatarsal guards at work. I never got the steel ones because when you had to kneel down and stuff, they just always be in the way. So I always kind of got away with just wearing the leather ones and just saying they were steel, but whatever. But another big change to Hazel is one of her eyes is now red, and this would be happening around volume 4 in the story, which I am presently writing. I just got started. I don't know if this is quite going to be her look in volume 4, but I know at some points in the story I'll be kind of mentioning her hair is getting longer and stuff like that. But here one of her eyes changes colors, and that's because her curse mark is just getting out of hand. Let's see if I gotta unlock this. Oops, that I unlocked the wrong thing. Another big thing, I just kind of added these randomly, but as you clicking the wrong thing here, damn it. Okay, so just a little randomly here. There's kind of these fissure marks on our arm. I can't see them very well right now, maybe because of the background color, and they're kind of light. But these kind of flaming lava marks running across their skin. Those are now 3 present curse marks activating, because the original one's on our chest right here, which I don't show, but basically what it is it's branching out across her skin like basically like veins, and here it creates 1 curse mark on her shoulder, or it creates a curse mark on both her arms. This one's in the shape of an S, this one a C, and then there's one under her eye that's red here that's kind of the shape of a P. It's just spraying out kind of like a virus. I don't know if it's like a virus, basically like fissures across her body. You can kind of see some marks down here on her legs. I was originally just adding those as kind of tattoo marks when I was making this, but I kind of started looking at it a little bit. I thought, that'd be kind of cool, because I talk about in the story a lot that Hazel's, the more Hazel's curses progresses, the more her body starts to kind of break down. And this is supposed to be kind of representation of that. So it's like her actual physical form is shattering, I guess is what I'm going for there. It seems like a good thematic thing. Good thematic theme. But yeah, so that's just a little different. So that's just some of the difference from version 3 to the Knuckle Buster version, which is just a later version of Hazel. The basically it's supposed to be the curses influence her more and more, and she's getting, her features just getting more demonic and stuff. I did make, because I'd like to, I made some different colored versions. So here's the red tunic version of Hazel. Sorry. This is the red tunic version of Hazel, just slightly different hair hues, just because I was messing around with the hues a little bit. Everything's just a slightly different color, a bit more warmer color, but this would be, this version of the tunic would be the Callahan version, so the red version with blue on it. I guess her eye ended up a little more orange when I was adjusting the hue colors, but there's nothing too different here. And then, I gotta find it again here. And then, we have the classic white version, although this is still the same version. I just made a single click and, turned the tunic white. But something about the tunic being white I just really like. The star or the Crusader's Cross is a little different. I still kind of prefer this bigger star, but the smaller one with a little bit more of the pointy edges is kind of neat too. I'm not sure how I feel about Hazel with a bandana. I kind of like it, but I don't know if I'm really in love with it, I guess I should say. I still like this collar on the tunic from version 3, but I just wanted to do something different. But overall, I will say version 3 is probably a little cleaner, but the Knuckle Buster version here, I feel like is a good upgrade, and I feel like it'll make a good base for later on in the story when I submit the art to the Deku Studio guys. But overall, just kind of a good improvement. I like the pose. For some reason, I really like it when Hazel has a hands on hips, I guess, kind of pose. I'm not trying to girl. I always want to stress, I'm never trying to make her be a girl boss in the story. She gets. I'm trying to make sure I'm following YouTube rules, but I also want to wrap up here. But in story, Hazel takes some punishment. Like in the first few volumes, she has a lot of protection because of 6s, but in the 3rd volume, she has to fight on her own for a little bit, and she does well for a little bit, but then she does get captured and beat up. Like some character, she gets hit with a shovel. She's fighting evil dolls. They're attacking her, stabbing her with basically knitting needles and shit like that, and she manages to use an ability to get out of the evil mansion and into this doll shop, and she's fighting off some more evil dolls, and there's this one evil character's kids in doll form, and she kills him. He gets upset, starts and just starts beating her up with a shovel and cracks her ribs. And then after she's being dragged away, she goes full demon form and has that curse ability moment, I guess. But yeah, I always make sure in the story that there is kind of always a little bit. There's always just a little bit of plot armor, but I never wanted to make her feel like she's so safe that you never have to worry. But just as the main character, that stuff happens. But I do, I, I have to kind of get, you have to kind of. I don't want to make her suffer gratuitously unnecessary, but I do want to put her through the ringer, I guess, in the story is what I'm going for there. But I'm going to be going into some seasonal work, so I don't know how often I'll be able to do videos. So it's kind of awkward. I got into my stride. I'm finally doing one once a week, and then I'm going to be busy to the point I'm probably going to forget about YouTube for literally 4 weeks and a half, but still starting out, so it's maybe not a big deal at this point either. As far as doing any more reviews, I would like to do some more. I think those might be some good quick videos. My only problem with doing reviews at this point is I'm not very good at it. I could just tell from my first video that it was I got to figure out the structure that works for me when I do reviews. And when I do these character R&Ds with my own characters, I know everything off the top of my head. I don't have to look at any notes. And they're my characters. I still know them. But when I have to describe other people's characters, I may be coaching my language a little bit because I don't want to be too harsh if I don't have to be. But we'll see how that goes. We're going about 20 minutes here. I'm averaging like Tekken 101 time. But yeah. So that's so this is Knucklebuster Hazel. She'll probably appear on DeviantArt soon enough. I'll probably put this image up on the Facebook page. I'm trying to find a good background for her because right now I got like this evil tree background behind her on the full page, and I just not really sure how it looks out. So I just had a white background here, but I'm going to be wrapping up here. Oops. So, I gotta get rid of the clicker. So yeah, if you want to check out Hazel, you can check out Saint Saga the Black Beast, Volume 1, branded. It's a bit of a mouthful. I'm not sure if I should just change it to Brandon, a Saint Saga novel, but it's up on Amazon. It's available for $2.99. Paperback is $11.99 right now, and the hardcover is $7.50. Volume 2, I'm currently going through it one more time to get it up to snuff, but I think I'm going to release the ebook in January, and then the paperback in March, and that one's called Lovesick. But if you want to give Saint Saga a look, it's up on Amazon. I'll try to have a link in the description, but for now, that's all for me. Thank you, and goodbye.